Hello, Master Numerologist Andre Alvin Moore, and today my subject matter is on exit numbers, sometimes referred to as transitional numbers. And I would like to talk about the exit numbers for physicist Stephen Hawking. Exit numbers are the day, month, year, and age that a soul makes their transition. These numbers highlight the inner essence. It tells us what was most important in that soul's journey. Exit numbers differ from entry numbers in the sense that entry numbers provide a blueprint for what a soul has signed up to do before it incarnates. There is no guarantee that a soul will accomplish its objectives due to the two-dimensional reality of being in a body. It's like being in a fairy tale as opposed to reading about a fairy tale, or reality versus the unreal, or being in a physical body or not. For example, when you fall asleep at night and dream, the dreamscape is much different from the non-dreamscape, though they both seem real. When a soul maps out their future incarnation, they are doing so from a non-physical reality. A soul does not have to contend with the cosmic illusion of physical matter called Maya. Maya places a veil over our eyes, projecting a false creation, a false reality. Your five physical senses convince you that what you see, hear, feel, touch, and taste are real, and you find yourself acting and reacting based on these false impressions. Your soul forgets that it's a spirit and why it's here. So, before you incarnate, you are living in a different type of a body called an astral body, ASTRAL. When you incarnate, you move into a denser body, a physical body. The physical body has a different reality, a different understanding, a different perception of the non-reality body, the body that you're in before you incarnate. The soul is entrapped in three bodies, okay? The casual, the astral, and the physical. The soul, for most of us, the soul journeys from the physical to the astral plane, from the astral plane back to the physical plane. The astral plane is what you refer to as heaven, okay? That is where you are at before you incarnate, and that's where you're going when you leave this body, all right? But you're going to have different perceptions based on if you're in the body or out of the body. Just like when you dream it, you have a different perception of reality, which is different from when you're in the awakened consciousness. There's a different type of reality. There's a different type of vibration. Okay? Now, when a soul's journey completes its mission, it leaves its body at a specific time, place, age, month, day, and year. Analyzing and interpreting this information provides insight into how successful the soul fulfilled its mission. All right, so You come in with an objective, but understand, you draw up your map from a non-reality when you're in the astral body. Everything looks perfect. Everything looks rosy. You sign up to do this. You sign up to do that. You sign up to do this and this and that. Okay, fine. That's your blueprint. But then when you incarnate into the body, the script flips, because now you have to deal with a different type of reality, a heavier reality, a more denser reality, the reality of duality. And so the soul gets lost in the physical because it starts relating to what it sees is real, what it feels is real, what it hears is real. And so it embraces a different type of reality, a different type of impression, and the soul believes that that is real, and that is what it starts identifying with. But it's not real. It's just another illusion. It's a cosmic illusion called Maya. But to the soul, it feels so real, and the soul buys into it and start identifying with its sex. I'm a male. I'm a female. You're neither male nor female. You're a spirit occupying a physical body as a male or a female. It started identifying with, well, I'm African, or I'm Caucasian, or I'm Chinese. No, you are occupying. In this particular incarnation, you want to have the experience of being a Chinaman or being an African. You are none of those things. You are a spirit occupying, having those experiences for the sole purpose of learning, so that you may grow, so that at some point you'll be able to break free from this physical encasement and go back to the astral plane. But you still have work to do. You're still going to have to break free of that astral body to move into the causal plane, and then you're still going to have to break free from that causal plane before you can become one with God, one with Creator, one with the one without the second. Okay, now, Stephen William Hawking was an English theoretical physicist, cosmologist, author, and director of research at the Center for Theoretical Cosmology at the University of Cambridge. He left his body on March the 14th, 2018, at the tender age of 76. His exit points are 3, 5, 2, 1. He left the body in March. March is the third month, so that's a 3. He left on the 14th. 1 plus 4 is 5. And he left in the year 2018. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 8 is 11. And 11 and 1 plus 1 is 2. And when you add those three numbers together, the 3, the 5, and the 2, brings us back to his core essence of the 1. The 3 and the 5 and the 2 is 10, and 1 plus 0 bring us back to 1. So his first exit point, 3, is derived from the month of his departure, March. March is the third month of our calendar. Mr. Hawking fathered 3 children. The number 3 rules movies, books, and The Voice. In 2014, a cinema called A Theory of Everything, based on his first wife's book, Traveling to Infinity, My Life with Stephen, was made into a movie. Mr. Hawking made several guest appearances in films and guest appearances on television series, including The Big Bang Theory. Mr. Hawking wrote several books, co-authored books, and wrote books with his daughter. In the mid-1980s, Mr. Hawkins lost his ability to speak, and he communicated by using computer software called the equalizer. So all of that information pertaining to the third level. The third level deals with creativity, artistry, sound power. Okay? Now, the second exit point, number 5, is rooted in freedom, space, travel, adventure. It carries a different vibration. Okay? It's about being free from the confinements of the physical body. And he left on the 14th. The 1 and the 4 makes the 5. That was the day of his departure. But the 14 is a compound number. The 1 and the 4 is going to modify that 5 vibrational energy. So the number 14 is a compound number consisting of 2 sub-elements, digits 1 and digits 4. Okay, the 1 and the 4 makes your 5. These 2 numbers will modify his second exit point. Now, the sub-element number 1 denotes an individual who has a strong sense of self-identity, strong-willed, and self-determined. But the sub-element number 4 indicates an individual who is practical and grounded in facts. Mr. Hawkins was a mathematician, and the number 4 rules math. Now, these 2 sub-elements would weigh him down as he struggles to break free from the heaviness of life, which may explain why he had a strong desire to travel in space. In April of 2007, Mr. Hawkins flew aboard a specially modified Boeing 727-200 jet operated by Zero G Corp off the coast of Florida to experience weightlessness. That's a 5 energy. The 5 energy deals with the air. It deals with space. And he wanted to have that experience. He wanted to be a space traveler. He prepared himself to be a space traveler. But he died before he was able to accomplish that. But he did have the experience of weightlessness. Now, Mr. Hawkins used a wheelchair, and he became notorious for the wildness of his wheelchair driving. A challenging aspect of a 5 energy is wildness, because the 5 energy focuses primarily from the 5 physical senses. The 5 energy is very much interesting in the physicality of life. And it gets the 5 in a lot of trouble because the 5 energy at times lacks the discipline. The 4 energy is a discipline number that's trying to ground the 5 energy. The 5 energy is a freedom number trying to break free from the 4 energy. And so therefore we have a conflict there. And so by him being reckless with that wheelchair was a strong need for him to try to break free, and also lacking the responsibility of controlling that wheelchair. And he was the one that was controlling that wheelchair, the 1 energy. So that's the 5 energy, and its challenging aspect, the recklessness of driving his wheelchair. But a wheelchair is also symbolizing a 4 power. Why? Because you sit on a square, and it usually has 4 wheels. But it also expresses freedom because the chair has wheels, allowing for mobility, and 1 person controls that chair, which was Mr. Hawkins. Now, Mr. Hawkins did travel quite a bit in the relationship with his profession. He he was well known, and he traveled around the globe. So that would be another 5 indicator. Let's move on. Now, the third exit point is number 2, is derived from the year of his departure, 2018. When you add those sub-elements together, the 2, the 1, and the 8, it's going to bring you back to the 2 energy, okay? Because 2 plus 1 is 3, and 3 plus 8 is 11, and 1 plus 1 is 2. Now, Mr. Hawkins was married twice. And the number 2 is your helpers. And by him being paralyzed or partially paralyzed, he needed help. And his second wife was a nurse who helped him in many ways, along with a variety of assistants and staff. That's all fall under the 2 energy. The 2 energies are your helpers. He needed help. Okay? Even though he had a very strong and self-determined will, he still needed assistance. And he got that from his wives, from his staff, and from his assistants. Now, quickly, he left his body at age 76. The 7 and the 6 energy sits in contrast to one another. They conflict one another. He was an atheist. Okay? So the first sub-age number is 7. The 7 energy rules all things on a spiritual level. In its challenging aspect, it rules atheism. And he was an atheist. But it also was denoting an individual who was tapping into a higher plane of consciousness and awareness, because he was not interested in going along with the traditional way of viewing God. He was a mathematician. He dealt with facts. Prove God to me. But what happened was, it got him in trouble with his first wife, because the 6th energy deals with the family and the home. And he got him in trouble with his first wife because his first wife had strong Christian faith. And that was in conflict with his atheism. And it caused much tension. And eventually, they divorced. Okay? So that 7 and that 6 energy is in conflict with one another. But the core age is number 4, because the 7 and 6 come together to make the 13, which breaks down to the number 4, which is a person that has a very strong opinion and perhaps a streak of stubbornness. Now, Mr. Hawkins' primary core number is 1, which is obtained by adding his 3 sub-elements, the 3 and the 5 and the 2. The day of his, the month of his departure, March, 3. The day of his departure, the 14th, 1 and 4 is 5. And the year of his departure, 2018, which is the 2. When you add those 3 sub-elements together, you're going to get his core essence, the number 1. And there is no doubt that he made a tremendous impact in his chosen profession. He was known, he was world-renowned and respected as having one of the brightest minds. So, there it is. Rest in peace, my brother. Until the next video, peace.